Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Power Core Productions and Podcastings. I'm your host, Javon Harrington, and today we continue in the world of Naruto Jujutsu Kaisen, Naruto, King of Curses. What if Naruto was a Jujutsu sorcerer? And today we'll be covering the original canon arc for this series based on the Minato one-shot manga in the Vortex of Demons arc. Like I've stated before with the previous installments, before we get into the main series proper, the main story that will have Naruto, Sasuke, Yuji, Megami, and all of our favorite characters and cast members from the Jujutsu Kaisen and Naruto stories, these prequel arcs are a way to better flesh out and establish the world. Again, unlike many other crossover stories, this is a blending of the two worlds. It's not one world being slapped onto another. It's to better integrate you with the series, with the combat, the fighting style, so that when we do get into the main story, you'll have a complete understanding, as well as a more fleshed out world that's being built. In this story, we will be covering the events of the special Minato one-shot manga that shows how Minato created the Rasengan, as well as splicing in more elements of the Jujutsu Kaisen mythos, as well as blending in one of the first arcs in Jujutsu Kaisen as well. Do hope you'll look forward to this series and everything else that's to come. Now, without further ado, let's get into today's video. As always, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Team Jiraiya found themselves staring down the barrel of a gun. A two-barrel gun in the form of two Biju bombs being formed by the Stone Village's 4 and 5 Tails Jinchuriki. The ones known as Roshi and Han. If you wanted to fight against us, you should have brought your own Jinchuriki. We're not gonna survive this! Calm down, we're not dead yet. That's right. Minato, are you ready? I am. Good. Get us out of here. They're gonna blow! In a flash, Team Jiraiya were gone from the fight. As the Biju bombs vaporized the area where they once were, Team Minato had successfully been flown back almost 100 miles to another location, closer to the Hidden Leaf stronghold. Your timing is as impeccable as ever, Minato, Jiraiya said, as he patted his student on the head. Yeah, he really saved our hides. Could you try not to be such a coward? Good job, Minato. The flames of war were high in the Hidden Leaf, but for Minato, a rising shinobi in popularity and in name all around the ninja world, he was just a young man trying to find himself. Being a ninja, piece of cake. Fighting off against both shinobi and cursed spirit alike, all in a day's work. But there was one thing. A certain red-haired girl that had caught his attention. Of course, it had been that way since he had first seen her in the academy. Her name? Kushina Uzumaki. She had been new to the village when they first met. Many people picked on her, always mocking her for her red hair, so much so that she had earned the title of the Red Hot Habanero, because it wasn't uncommon for the fiery redhead to make people regret their statements. Minato admired her for her strength, her fierce determination, and her loyalty. He saw nothing wrong with her. In fact, it was quite the opposite. He took every opportunity to be in her presence, even in the midst of a full-on war. Whenever he was back home and not training or filling out some reports, he was always with her. But wartime had made things a lot more difficult. Kushina wasn't allowed out of her designated zone, where a special ceiling barrier was put in place. It was the only thing that kept the Ninetales in check inside of the village, and the only time she was allowed out were for select missions that were for the benefit of the village. Among them, one mission that only she could do. A long time ago, before the Hidden Leaf was even founded, there was a sorcerer. Many do not know of this sorcerer's origins, though many claim that he had lived for well over 1,000 years. He was a monster, said to have had 4 arms and 4 eyes, a devastating master of Jujutsu. He was known as Ryomen Sukuna, a being who had become the king of curses. It was said that the leader of the Senju clan, the Uchiha clan, and the Gojo clan all had to work together in unison to defeat him. As a result, on his 4 arms, the 20 fingers, each one containing a piece of the King of Curses' soul, they became known as Sukuna's fingers. The Hidden Leaf had gone through great trouble of finding the fingers, in hopes of keeping their power sealed away forever, since they were hard to destroy or exercise. The Leaf currently had 7 fingers in their possession, and the only way to find them, outside of having a vessel of Sukuna yourself, was to use the Nine-Tails Chinchuriki. It was thanks to the efforts of Mito Uzumaki, the previous holder of the Nine-Tails, that they had found the 7. And now with Kushina, the search would continue. Of course, for Kushina, this only led her to have more and more restrictions upon herself. She wasn't allowed to live like the other young children in the village, who went out, had fun, dates. For her, she lived a life of isolation. She wondered, was there any purpose or any meaning to her existence? All she was the vessel, the container for the psycho beast of hatred, the Nine-Tails. Her power used for nothing more but to find the dead remains of a psychotic madman who wanted to plunge the world into doom and destruction. These were not the things that she aspired to be, what she aspired to do. When the days got hard, when it felt like she had no one, Mito Uzumaki, even in her older age, would give her words of encouragement, reminding her that the only way to combat that hatred was to fill one's heart with love. And for Kushina, there was one person among all who had that admiration. In the meantime, Minato was working on something else. A jutsu that he wanted to give to Kushina. Something that could help her out whenever she was deployed into battle. He created a jutsu just for her. Jiraiya was watching as he practiced, destroying the ground, leaving crater after crater after crater. You've definitely got a monster on your hands, Minato. Did you actually have a name for this jutsu? Yeah, I actually was coming up with something really good. I call it the Jiraiya Ice Cream Double Spiral Special. Vortex Blue, spitting in the wind and... Yeah, that's an awful name, kid. Seriously. You're a master of multiple techniques, and yet you always come up with the most outlandish of ideas. Have you even been practicing on using your cursed energy? Oh, that. Actually, yeah. I was working on an idea for my innate domain. I mean, I would like to go to the domain expansion myself, but I'm still a few steps away from doing that. Alright, what do you have? Simple. Minato would take 2 kunais. He would place one about 30 feet from himself, while holding the other one. I think my innate domain is going to be with my flying Raijin. Ah. It's gonna be like cursed energy teleportation. My seals, the ones that I write on the kunais, I place a little extra kanji mark at the very end. This one connects to my cursed energy. If I'm ever trapped inside of a domain, I can just teleport my way out. Kind of seems like the simplest of ideas, but I would expect nothing less from you. Right. Even if I'm trapped inside of a domain, even if someone has a surefire hit, they can't hit me if I can escape. Now sure, when you're trapped inside of a domain, it's kind of hard to sense chakra on the outside, but cursed energy? I see. So you're implying that you're going to use cursed energy along with your chakra. Exactly. That way, there's no domain that I can't escape. I figure it's the best workaround until I'm able to create my own. Although, for now, I really want to finish this jutsu. You want to do it for Kushina? It's fine, Minato. You're at that age. An age when a young man finally discovers what the true meaning of love actually is. The true meaning of love, sir? Right. Love. It's duty. It's passion. It's fighting for what you believe in, even when all the odds are stacked against you. You mean like your feelings for Lady Tsunade? Ow! Jiraiya popped him on the head. Now why would you have to go blabbing on about stuff like that? Well, sir, it's easy to tell from the way you look at her. Tsunade's just a woman that I admire. She's a comrade and an old friend of mine, and she's standing right there. Huh? Where? You little rascal. You should work on coming up with a better name for that jutsu of yours. But still, it is very impressive. By the way, you might want to see Kushina off. See her off? That's right. She didn't tell you? She has a mission coming up. They believe they found 2 more of the fingers. The fingers, Minato said. Sukuna's fingers? You mean they actually? There's a possibility. They're heading out to the east of the Land of Fire. They believe that they're in that direction. Kushina's been getting a strong sensation in that area. An Anbu squad is going to be sent along with her. I should go. I mean, it's just no can do. The Hokage is picking out the personnel for this mission personally. Besides, with the war going on, we could be called out at any moment. We're going to need you. Have some faith in the girl. She's a lot more powerful than you give her credit. Right. Minato would see Kushina off as she left with a squad of 6 Anbu members. They would head east of the Land of Fire, where they would search for the fingers. Kushina, being out of the village, would be surrounded by her squad detail, each one of them having special chakra sealing tags in case the Nine-Tails got on a rampage. Kushina would close her eyes as Kurama would enter into her mind. It seems that humans can never change. You are being used just as she was. Evil to fight evil. That's the first thing you have to say after all this time? I have to admit, Nine-Tails, I'm a little disappointed. Try and hide behind your words and false confidence. I can feel the fear within you. I don't have anything to fear. Your power draws out hatred. You'll lead us to the fingers. You can't help yourself. Ryomen Sukuna. I always hated that bastard. Still, he was someone who valued freedom. You are free now. You and I are heading out of the village together. You should be excited. I will have my true freedom soon enough. No matter what you do, in the end, you will always be alone. There is no one that truly loves or cares about you. You are nothing more but a tool, a vessel. You are nothing. You are empty and filled only with my hate. The only thing that will keep you safe. The only thing that warms your soul. Deny it all you want, but your destiny, it will be faced all the same. I don't fear you, Ninetales. You will. Kushina and her squad would soon arrive towards the eastern seaboard of the Land of Fire. There were old buildings and structures. It seemed like it was an older settlement before the Hidden Leaf, though there was no sign of any life around them. The captain would be the first one to take point. We'll scope out the area. Hopefully, no spirits have managed to get their hands on the fingers. Once we find them, we'll wrap them up in binding cloth and put on seals. Then, we'll make a beeline right back to the village. I'll take you two. The rest of you, stay on guard. The first three would leave, heading off deeper into the tall structures around them. Kushina waiting, thinking about Minato at the time. As she did, she felt into her kunai pouch, remembering the kunai that Minato gave her before she left. If anything happens, Minato said, just insert your chakra into the kunai. I'll feel it no matter where you are. I'll be able to find you. It gave her some reassurance, knowing that in case anything did happen, it was like he was already with her in that moment. It was about 2 hours later, and the 3 Anbu members hadn't come back. Kushina brought this up to the remaining 3, to which the vice captain got worried. Perhaps they're still looking, but they would have sent back word or something by now. I have a bad feeling about this. What do you want us to do? The third one would ask. Should we bring Kushina along with us? No, I think that won't be the wisest of ideas. But she's the one who can sense the fingers. After all, that's why we brought her in the first place. Her power could be useful. And I guess we can't just keep dividing our forces. Fine, we'll take the girl along with us. But make sure you stick close to us, Kushina. If the Ninetales were to get loose or go on a rampage in your body, then we'd be dealing with a fight on 2 fronts. Kushina would nod her head in understanding. As the 4 of them would descend deeper into the abandoned city, Kushina's sensories brought her to one of the buildings. As they touched the stone on the outside, it was incredibly hot. Damn, it's like something's really burning in there. You can feel it, can't you? The strong essence, the cursed energy. Yeah, it's like something down there is boiling alive. You don't think... Let's go and check it out. The group would make their way into the building, walking deeper underground into what appeared to be a cellar that led to catacombs. As they made their way down, the only light coming were from torches that aligned the walls. As they continued on in their descent, it was quiet. The heat was starting to rise all around them, a bit sweltering. Suddenly, everything would change. Kushina found herself alone. She looked around and the other Anbu members were gone. And standing before her, a creature with 4 eyes. Minato, in the meanwhile, was back in the Hidden Leaf Village, continuing to practice his jutsu. He was working out in the training fields when he felt something, a presence of chakra. It was burning in his kunai holster. He pulled it out and realized it was the kunai that he had given to Kushina. Kushina? What's going on? If she's using it, then it must mean something happened. Without thinking, Minato would immediately race to his house, throwing on his Chunin vest and grabbing what weapons he would need for a fight. In an instant, Minato was gone. In a flash, he would appear to where the kunai he had placed for Kushina, but she was nowhere in sight. Kushina! Kushina, where are you? Minato! Huh? Minato would race over to one of the Anbu lying on the ground, his body badly burnt. Hey, are you all right? No, what happened to you? It was a curse. A special grade. The team, we came into contact with the finger bearer, but it was a trap. He's a monster. A demon of fire. A demon of fire. Minato could hear screams coming from the other side of the walls. He immediately used his newly made jutsu to break down the walls itself, rushing from room to room. What he found was horrifying. The burnt bodies of the other Anbu members, charred to a crisp. Minato could hear on the lower floor. As he would try to break his way in, suddenly everything around him would vanish, before reappearing, and once again he found himself staring. It was an underground arena. Torches aligning all of the walls, and on the floor, there were traces of magma. Kushina, with her chains of adamantite, out of her body and acting on defense, and standing before her. It appeared to be a cursed spirit. It had 1 eye, and what seemed to be like a volcano on its head. Kushina, I'm here! Immediately, a wall of fire would separate the two of them. I won't be having you getting any closer. The 9 tails, now in my possession. With you, I can find where all of Sukuna remains, and I can bring back the king. The king? Ryomen Sukuna. Who are you? Minato would ask. It's impolite to ask for one's name without giving your own. I'm Minato. Minato Namikaze. Minato Namikaze. Peculiar name. You humans are so weird to me. I am Jogo. Jogo? For Minato, and for all the times he had been called out for naming, that didn't really seem all that creative. But one thing was for sure. They were dealing with a special grade curse. Without hesitation, Minato would throw his flying Raijin marks all around him. As Jogo would attempt to strike with a torrent of fire, Minato would disappear instantly, reappearing behind him, as Minato would run through a series of hand signs before extending out his fist. Lightning style! Thunderclap arrow! Huh? Kushina, now! Right! Wire style! Wild wire vortex! A strong torrent of wire would shoot at Jogo as he countered with a column of flame, before using the magma to flow all around, attempting to swallow them both. Minato would jump with Kushina as she would use her innate domain, creating a barrier with the Uzumaki adamantite chains protecting them from the lava. I did it! Of course you did. You're amazing, Kushina. The others, are they? Don't worry. It'll be all right. For Kushina, her heart now weighed heavy. They died because of her. She was the one that was supposed to protect them. She could feel it tugging at her. It's all your fault. They die because of you. Your existence, it brings nothing but pain and devastation. And now, you'll endanger the life of the one you love. Kushina was losing focus, her innate barrier starting to weaken. Minato would grab her as they would teleport to another safe spot inside of the catacomb. The cursed spirit Jogo would launch his assault, using his fist coated in cursed fire. Minato and Kushina would bounce around the room together, Minato using his flying Raijin working overtime to keep them from being hit. Jogo, however, was getting close, as he started conjuring mini volcanoes to shoot out torrents of fire and lava. Minato would use wind-style gale palm, pushing back against the flames, but only fanning them higher. Kushina, meanwhile, would attempt to restrain the special grade curse with her Uzumaki adamite sealing chains, but Jogo was crafty, hiding in the lava, only to reappear from a different direction and strike once more. He's after the Nine Tails. He's going to use it to try to gain hold of the fingers. We can't allow that to happen. What should we do? We should attempt to escape, right? No. Something this dangerous? We can't allow it to escape. But Minato! We're not ready. I don't think we can... We can do this, Minato said with a smile. If we work together, I know we can take him down. Huh, take me down. Really? That's an interesting thought. Your friends said the same thing. But then they came at me with such pitiful jujutsu. It's personally an insult to me. Then again, you humans existing are insults to me. Your very being, contradictory to nature. You look down on us cursed spirits. You call us abominations. You hunt down my people as if we do not have a right to live, when our existence is only because your hatred creates us. So who truly deserves to inherit the earth? The only thing you are is destruction incarnate. You don't even have a soul, Minato said. But I am truth. I destroy indiscriminately. Man, woman, child, it makes no difference. You are all equally dead in my eyes. I will take the Nine Tails, and you will become ash to the flame. Minato would create shadow clones. 4. Using the flying Raijin, they would all coordinate their assault around Jogo. Jogo, however, was able to fend off against each clone that tried to get close. The first one, a swift kick to the face. A second one, combusted upon punch to the gut. A third one, incinerated where it stood. The fourth, Minato himself, attempting to get closer with his newly made jutsu, a spiraling ball of chakra. Jogo would respond with a spiraling ball of flame, the two of their attacks colliding with one another, shooting them back in opposite directions. Now, sealing technique, 4-chain formation. 4 chains would shoot from Kushina's back, binding at Jogo and holding him to the ground. Now, Minato, finish him! Right. Minato would create the spiraling ball of chakra once again, using air-style Gale Palm Jutsu to give himself additional speed. In one fell swoop, he would incinerate and destroy the curse. However, Jogo had a different plan in mind. The moment that Minato got close enough, he would open his mouth, as a spiraling ball of flame would shoot. Minato only had a few seconds to dodge, though the left side of his face would be severely burnt. This momentary distraction was all that Jogo needed. Kushina losing focus and concentration, allowing for him to break free. Before Minato knew what hit him, he felt a sharp pain as a blast of heat shot him in the ribs, knocking him to the ground. Domain expansion. Coffin of the Iron Mountain! Immediately, Kushina and Minato, they were trapped inside of the domain. Minato looked on with Kushina, as they were now at the mercy of Jogo. Now, burn, incinerate, and purify! Minato would grab hold of Kushina. She wasn't sure what they should do. They had no way of escaping, but Minato would grin. In an instant, they would vanish, appearing in the outskirts of the building. Minato would lie on the ground, taking the moment to catch his breath. But how? How did we? I made sure to leave one of my kunais on the outside. It was a way for us to escape the domain. You actually did that? It's my innate domain technique. The flying Raijin. Using it with my cursed energy, I can create the innate domain. Warping it to space-time, it takes me to where the kunai I left marked on the outside. The building would suddenly vaporize in flame, as all around them the veil would begin to fall. Once again, they found themselves stuck inside of the domain. Jogo now looking entirely pissed. Did you really think you could escape me with that weak shit? If you had spent as much time running as you did bragging about your technique, you might have been able to evade me. But now you have none of your special markers on the outside, do you? Minato cursed under his breath because Jogo was right. They should have taken that time to run. As Minato stood on his feet once again, he would attempt to create another one of his spiraling jutsu. He would launch himself towards Jogo, using more of his flying Raijin kunai, the few that he had managed to carry on himself. But Jogo was faster, and Minato, being just a tad bit slow, found himself at the mercy of the cursed spirit. Kushina would use her chains, but before she had a chance, multiple torrents of fire would throw her off. It was creating distance between the both of them. Kushina watched on helplessly as Jogo grabbed Minato by the collar. The best way to release the tailed beast is to break the Jinchuriki. It's obvious that she's fond of you. So I wonder, what'll happen when I burn you to a crisp, huh? Huh? Kushina, stay back! No, Minato, don't! What are you going to do? Are you just going to let him die? If you want my power, give yourself to me. I'll win you this fight. Kushina was desperate. Her heart, her soul, it spoke before her lips ever could. Suddenly, she was in the version 2 state cloak. Jogo's arm was cut off of his body, freeing Minato in that moment. The power of the Nine Tails? Four Tails Cloak Kushina, Stage 2, began running on all fours, attacking at Jogo. In the midst of his domain, even as he had the surefire hit, he was overwhelmed by the force of nature that was the nine-tailed fox. She would open her mouth as specks of black and white chakra would form. Jogo would raise both of his hands. So, the Nine Tails wants to come out to play. I'm not afraid of you. You will serve me. I serve no one! Jogo's giant spiraling ball of flame would collide with the Biju bomb. The two attacks, forcing Minato to create another innate domain to protect himself, a defensive barrier long enough to shield from the exposure of the blast. Jogo would be enveloped by the Biju bomb. But Kushina now laid on the ground, unconscious. Another chakra's presence could be felt. It was the Nine Tails. Inside of the domain, there stood the ferocious creature. The Nine Tails. But how he... I was able to steal Jogo's domain, to use it for myself. I'm not out of her body, not yet. But once I break free of this domain, I'll take her over completely. I'll destroy the leaf. And you... No, I won't give you the chance! Shadow Clone Jutsu! Minato and his Shadow Clones would collide with Kurama, the Nine Tails swatting away at them as they attempted to use sealing tags to bind and hold the beast in place. Kushina stirred on the ground inside of the domain, watching as Minato fought against the Nine Tails, pushing through the pain that he felt in his body, the ribs that had likely been cracked, the burns that were searing on his chest. The Nine Tails was preparing to launch another Biju bomb, fully charged, and Minato, his spiraling ball of chakra, as the two of them were preparing to clash. Seeing what was about to happen, Kushina would reach out her hand. Multiple adamite sealing chains wrapping around the Nine Tails, draining it of its strength, but still not stopping what was to come. You can't save her. Her destiny is to drown in hate. I'll never let that happen. As long as I live, she'll never be alone. Because I will always be in her. Kurama and Minato's attacks would collide at point-blank range. Kushina continuing to use the Adamite sealing chains to drag the Nine-Tails spirit back into herself, and Minato pushing it back in. The moment they had made contact, Minato would use the remainder of his strength, overlaying her seal with an 8-prong seal. The explosion would destroy the domain that had been created. And the last thing Minato remembered, falling through the sky. He closed his eyes with a smile, preparing to embrace the impact on the ground, and his death likely with it. Though thankfully he would be saved at the last moment, as a large frog tongue wrapped itself around him. Nice work, Gamabunta! Ugh. You're always training reckless brats, Jiraiya. Master Jiraiya? Kushina, are you alright? Minato, we need to get him help. Minato would eventually awaken inside of the hospital. At his bedside, a sleeping Kushina. Jiraiya and Tsunade were there as well. Nice of you to join us in the world of the living, Minato. Master Jiraiya, Lady Tsunade, don't move around so much. It took a lot of effort to undo those burns on your body. And you almost exhausted yourself to death. What were you thinking fighting alone like that? Kushina, she needed my help. I couldn't waste time. Minato? Minato found himself enveloped in her arms. Tears rolling down her face, a sign of relief. Welcome home. Welcome home. After he recovered, Minato and Kushina would finally go out. What you could call a date, if you will. They had stopped to a ramen restaurant known as Ichiraku before walking over to the Hokage Faces. There was a bunch of small talk, and sometimes nothing was said at all. It was a time to enjoy each other's company. Thank you, Kushina. If it wasn't for you, I don't think I should be thanking you. You came to me without any hesitation. Well, I mean, of course. Whenever you need me, I'm always going to be there for you. That jutsu of yours, it was incredible. It withstood multiple attacks from a special grade, and even the Nine-Tails. Master Jiraiya told me that you were still trying to name it. Yeah, but I still have to go back to the drawing board. You know, guess it's a little too long in the mouth. I think I have the perfect name for it. After all, it is a jutsu made for me, right? Huh? How did you... He told you that? I was just... I just wanted to help. And I mean, you know, I really care. And I don't want you... I just... What? What's so funny? Where you're standing, it looks like your face is gonna be on the stone walls. Well, I mean, I would like for it to. It will be. And as for that jutsu, I think I have the perfect name for it. Really? Yeah. How about Rasengan. Rasengan. I like it. Meanwhile, members of the Gojo clan gathered around as a young boy with white hair and eyes that shined like the bright blue sky stood before a finger bearer. It was severely weakened, likely having gone through an incredible fight. Is it wise for us to let him fight it at this state? Let's see what he can do. The boy raised his hand, and in an outpouring of cursed energy and chakra, the finger bearer would be destroyed, and only a finger would remain. Even if it was a weakened finger bearer, the fact that he was able to destroy it in one attack, it only confirms it. The power of the Rikugan, the power of the Six Eyes, it has once again entered into the world. He will be the mightiest of the Gojo clan, the mightiest of the Leaf, the strongest, Lord Satoru Gojo. This concludes Naruto, King of Curses. What if Naruto was a Jujutsu sorcerer, the Vortex of Demons arc? As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that has to come out now and in the future. Stay tuned next time for more from the world of Naruto Jujutsu Kaisen, Naruto King of Curses. What if Naruto was a Jujutsu sorcerer? But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings, signing off, and I'll see you next time.